You need strong lungs to play bagpipes, right?
Indeed.
Yeah?
So, very strong.
Because it kind of, the sound basically never stops. There's always air coming in. So how do you do that?
So
when you breathe?
Yeah, you breathe in. So this is where the bag comes into it. It gives you a reservoir.
Right, a reservoir, right.
So you're able to keep the constant sound.
Yeah.
And so when you stop blowing, everything stops.
Right.
So it's very important. Yeah. Exactly. Going. And, so really, essentially, we're looking at to become a good piper. It's not overnight.
Yeah.
So for 7 years, you could be reasonable.
Right. Average.
Average. Very average. 14, you're doing quite well. For 21, you know what you're doing.
But do you have those books like as become a bagpiper in 24 hours, like they would do with the guitar, you know?
Well, exactly. I'm sure I could teach someone to do it, but it would be no mean task, and they could play one tune, and that would be it. But if you want to be a serious bagpipe player, you have to really devote your time, energy, more so than any other instrument, I would think.
Yeah? Yeah?
Yeah, more so. Essentially, the origins perhaps from Roman times and round the Mediterranean, Italy.
Right, right.
I'm sure there was different forms of bagpipes.
Because we know we have zampogna in Italy, which is very similar, you know. For some reason, it always comes out on Christmas. But
sure.
There are people playing it the whole time, and it's pretty much the same mechanism, I would say. You know, like store the air, you know, get that deep sound, and then play melodies on top.
Indeed. Well, I've been in Scapoli and I've been in Sicily playing, as you mentioned, the idea of Christmas time, bringing the sheep down from the hills.
Yes.
Although I was playing Highland bagpipes, what they originally did was the Italian bagpipe down.
Right, right.
So same idea here. It was played, I assume, in the hills. So it's an interesting how it became a Scottish bagpipe.
Was it a sort of like a upper class thing back in the days, or
initially it wasn't,
or
but
a military thing?
What actually happened, I suspect, in the 1500s, it became a Scottish bagpipe. It was developed at that point into what we have today. But later on, about the 1800s, Queen Victoria made it very, how can I put it?
Like proper
posh.
Yeah.
And she was a great advert for bagpiping. And when she got involved with it, everybody wanted to be a bagpipe player. So the culture in Scotland, I think, about her time changed, and people moved from outdoors to indoors houses, and the culture changed. So,
would you play some for us?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
What would you like to hear?
I'm very curious about the Bach. You know, like I love just the sound, you know, but
I need to tune them, perhaps.
Yeah. That would be interesting to see.
That type of thing. So it's
That's pretty amazing already. Just, you know, just the whole process of tuning, you know?
Yeah, sure.
Very, like, gets you centered, you know?
Hopefully, yeah, it's got depth, you know?
Oh, and, wow.
I'd like to think.
But going back to Tony Iommi, I think the fact that he detuned the strings came from that, because he was in too much pain.
Yeah, it was easier for him to play. And so you got the whole sort of like, so the heaviness coming back from like, is it accident?
Primo o Lottarosi ACDC.
There's lots, actually. I listen to a lot of like late 60s, early 70s sort of rock, hard rock, and sort of proto-heavy metal.
Proto, right.
Proto, yeah. And Sabbath were probably the most like evil, like dun,
right,
dun, dun, all that. So that was evil, but there were some bands that were still pretty heavy.
Right.
Like, even like I don't know, Grand Funk, American band, Grand Funk. Yeah, yeah.
Grand Funk,
they've got some pretty heavy riffing, but it's a bit more rock.
Bluesy, hard rock, yeah.
Whereas like Sabbath got in the, you know, the doom, and so I think probably Sabbath, probably the earliest metal.
Because, you know, if you think about it, there was no Black Sabbath, there would be no Metallica or, you know, Slayer.
Yeah, yeah.
Some pretty good material here. These are all your records from your bedroom, say.
Yeah, except that one and that one and that one. All the shit ones.
So I would say the non-metal ones are not yours.
Yes, correct.
They're kind of funny. It's kind of funny when every now and then you get...
It's good to break them up. Like, it's like good seeing stuff like Iron Maiden just under James Brown, and you know.
But I would love that James Brown record.
Oh
too,
yeah, I mean James Brown.
Non-metal, but yeah,
it's good.
I was actually curious about this metal cover. I have all early Maiden records, but not this one. This is definitely a single.
Yes, a 12-inch.
It's a 12-inch, but what song? Would this be like...
It's called Woman in Uniform is the name of the 12-inch.
Uniform. It's never made it on an album. They used to play it live, I think.
Yeah, there's...
it's the Killers section,
I think it's album... It's off Iron Maiden off the first album. And obviously, Mrs. Thatcher.
That's Thatcher,
That's
right?
Mrs.
So
Thatcher.
see, those guys were always trying to tell you something.
Yeah.
You know, you just realized.
Yeah.
Of course, you didn't realize when you were like 13 years old. No. You know, but. But I think, to be honest with you, even like I mean, some kids are gonna hate me for saying this, but even like Fear of the Dark.
Yeah.
For me, it's just the beginning of a new phase, you know, where a lot of kids got into Maiden with Fear of the Dark.
Yeah.
But for me, it was kind of like the end of, you know,
end of the classic.
Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
My first Maiden album I heard was Number of the Beast, and it's like even now it's got so much great things about it.
Yeah, massive.
And then a couple albums later, and then for me, I don't think I've got it in here.
Well, Power Slave is still a great album.
Yeah, Seventh Son, I don't think I've got it on any vinyl.
That was kind of like the end for me.
Yeah, because they got the guitar synths and the keyboards, and to me, it was just not metal enough.
Poi ha fatto Raining Blood degli Slayer.
Got the nice EP by Metallica. That was like...
I love that. That was Jason Newsted's first thing. After
was it?
That was his first recorded thing with Metallica.
Because that comes after Master of Puppets, I think, right?
Yep, it's between Justice, Master of Puppets and Justice.
And Justice, but it's a very light phase where they're just playing with covers.
Yeah, oh, it's great, but the thing is, it's got so much energy, you know, it's like the production and like James Hetfield's voice is great.
Yeah, they do the Misfits cover.
Yep.
Green Hell.
Green Hell, Last Caress.
Last Caress.
Yeah, Last Caress, Green Hell.
And then what's the, I think the very first song on the album, it's, I think it's one of their main bands, you know, Diamond Head.
Yeah, Diamond, he did Helpless.
Helpless, yeah.
And he did a couple of Budgie songs as well, Crash Course in Brain Surgery.
Right, from who?
From Budgie.
Budgie.
They were like a three-piece from Wales back in the 70s.
Wow. They must have been the people in Wales very proud.
Yeah, totally. And Budgie are still going together now. They're about, I don't know, 65?
Like Judas Priest, probably. You know?
Old men.
I would say Judas Priest is probably the longest, you know, legacy in metal, you know? They started like around Black Sabbath.
Yeah. And they're still playing, still going now. Still coming out the heavy riffs as well, which is even good.
I got someone to say, I killed a baby to tea, till I'm out of muscle, as long as it's dead. I got someone to say, I ripped your mama to tea, till I'm out of muscle, as long as she's free.
Anthrax was part of that movement in a way because they were hardcore and metal, but they mixed, you know.
Anthrax are big fans of here. Every time they play, they come in here.
Really?
We've got, like, in the toilet, we've got Scott Ian's autograph.
Oh,
yeah, it was like, sort of like Monkeys Rule, Scott Ian Anthrax. I was like, the first time they came in, I was working in the kitchen and somebody said, Andy, was somebody here to see you? And I was like, I wonder who it is. Stuck my head out. And there was Anthrax. I was like,
really?
Like, and you know, because I loved that album.
This is probably their best.
Definitely their best. Definitely their best. And when he came in, I was like, Christ, what do I say? All right, how are you? And so they came in, and every time they come into Glasgow, they'll always come in.
Poi ha fatto Phantom of the Opera degli Iron.
Oh yeah.
Run out of breath. Sing.
But it's still there, you know. Who would have expected that? You
I know.
know?
It'll never die. Never die.
Never die. We used to say that, man. Never die.
Yeah.
But it actually doesn't die, you know?
It'll be here for another 40 years, another 40 years after that. And thing is, another 40 people will say, oh, Sabbath, we'll be like that. Oh,
right.
Sabbath.
Ah, you remember the days, you know?
Sitting in your wheelchair in your nursing home.
Cioè, praticamente tipo camera mia quando avevo 19, 19, forse anche di più, comunque. Prendevi la tua bella coppia, no invece poi dopo, no beh adesso non è. Però insomma prendevi la tua bella coppia di H&M, non la catena di vestiti di design a basso costo bellissimi, comunque prendevi la tua coppia di H&M il giornale, Metal Hammer, Metal Shock, te la ritagliavi e poi pian piano per la gioia della mamma incollavi.
E invece qua dove siamo?
Invece qua siamo in un cesso. Oh yeah.